Vlogcast may occasionally contain explicit content that makes it not safe for work or for minors. It also doesn't provide an excuse to use the same words on Bay 13. Normal big footy rules still apply. So this is the vlogcast for round 20 of the AFL season. Fyfie joined by Duckula.
Boo!
Paddlepop. Say that again.
The Cat Wrangler.
Black Ops!
And joining us from West Horsham to talk about Port Adelaide getting into the finals, basically securing it, we've got Marto.
I love you, Chad Wingard. I really do.
And also just a special note that this week is episode number 13, Lucky 13, Bay 13, made it to 13!
Woo! Could be a cursed episode. We haven't got a Port vlog on.
I think we start with Port Adelaide Crows since we've got Marto here, and that was just the most amazing game of the weekend.
Yeah, what a great game that was. I wasn't there. I didn't want to waste my money going to an Adelaide home showdown. I wouldn't give them the pleasure, but I watched it at home. It was fantastic. Just seeing the Crowbots choke in that last quarter was brilliant. I had a good melt after the game as well over Chad Wingard. And just to wipe the smug look off Paddy Dangerford's face, elbows McKernan losing. Yeah, it was just the perfect day. Killed off their finals hopes. What more can you ask for?
Can we get a little bit more of a definition of what exactly you meant by you had a good melt after the game?
Just my Chad Wingard thread. I'm effing Chad Wingard. Look at me. In all caps mode. And
Your heart melted for Chad Wingard.
Yeah, it did. It was like warm chocolate.
Fair enough too. Guy's a superstar.
This Chad Wingard melt sounds very 9.5 weeks to me, Marto. What's going on there?
9.5 weeks. Sorry, I missed that.
Right, okay.
Cat Wrangler's old. He's referring to old people movies.
You freaking knew what it was, ass piece.
Yeah, I know.
Did you get to watch the Port Adelaide players sing their song? Because I was watching it on TV up here, and they just went to Seinfeld after the game. They didn't have any footage of the Port Adelaide players singing a song.
They went to what? Seinfeld?
Seinfeld. What state are you in again? Now, I did see it here. They showed some SA tourism show called SA Life. We didn't get to see it. I had to go on the internet to watch it. Screw you, Channel 7, pretty much.
What's an SA tourism show look like?
I can't say I watch it. I don't know. They just drive around in the four-wheel drive and go camping everywhere. I don't know.
Still with the West End Brewery, or?
Yeah, something like that. Do you want me to throw a barrel joke in there somewhere or something? Barrel of laughs.
Was anyone else trying to think of characters from Seinfeld that look like a Port Adelaide player?
Yes.
I don't know. Yeah.
I was desperately trying. I was thinking Butcher kind of looks like the guy with the curly hair or something. And
yeah, he's playing like him too at the moment, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's
Kramer.
a bit Kramer-like, I guess. You could say that.
Yeah.
Is there a Port Adelaide player who's got done for racism? Because that would be highly appropriate to be Kramer.
Looking at the wrong club in this state, I'm afraid.
But how was that Monfries bounce? Watching that, I laughed for a good 30 seconds. That was the funniest thing I've seen in a football game for quite some time.
I didn't laugh too much. I was more jumping around like an idiot and yelling. But it didn't have the effect on me like when you see Norf choke or something like that. I remember Norf's choke to Adelaide earlier in the year, and I was running around like an idiot just yelling Norf at the top of my voice. But no laughing. Just
Did anyone test the footy after just to make sure that it was all legitimate, or
could have been some ball tampering there from Angus Monfries.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Ball injection.
He's been getting a thumbnail under the stitching of the Sharon, that guy, if anyone has. He's a dodgy little bugger. You wouldn't turn the lights out with Angus Monfries in the room, I'll put it that way. How did the Port fans feel about Anus Monfries?
We've taken to him pretty well. I think we've just embraced the fact that he loves to play for a free and, pepper your Angus each week. We like the bloke because, we feel sorry for him because he's been affected by that drug-riddled culture down at Essendon dope and everything, and you can see he badly wanted to get out. We've embraced him and, career best season, third on the goal-kicking list at the club. Yeah, brilliant.
Innocent people don't run.
Conditions must be bad in Jamestown if he's preferring to get out to Adelaide.
Yeah, Fyfie, I reckon there's a reason why you've got Marto on. You're just trying to deflect away from the fact that Richmond have finally locked themselves into the finals for the first time in your life.
I'm not that young. Who do you think I am, Jaden?
I'm 12 and what is this?
Seriously, So you've asked Marto how he feels about locking away a final spot, but we should ask you, how do you feel?
Pretty stoked, actually. It's just the only thing I'm apprehensive now about is an embarrassing loss. Perhaps coming up against Collingwood first week and getting pants pulled down. But otherwise, right track. I see a lot of parallels between Richmond now and Hawthorn of 2007, to be honest. We won't make the grand final the next year, but I think we're heading to that same competitive area.
The lid's off the KFC bucket now.
So we may as well just go there now. Richmond had a win.
Yeah, nearly 10 goals. We would have got there, but, the rain came. Otherwise, it would have been one of those 10-goal wins.
You had your grand final.
I think the most disappointing part of it from my perspective is that now that they're going to make the finals, Chris Newman's going to play a final, and now he won't have his record of over 200 games without playing a final. I'm not to be mean or anything, but it would have been great lulls if he went through his whole career without playing a final.
He could still get injured for what it's worth, but if you laugh, you're getting carded.
Oh.
Wrangler, it may be Richmond's grand final, but, at least when we turn up to our grand final, we go and win instead of losing to Sydney.
Yeah, you guys did good. I'm not going to take anything away from you. You're a good value for it. I was loving the Superman smothers right into the last minute of the game. You guys were just going for it. And, you've got a lot more to play for at the moment. I think Geelong sort of had a bit of the same disease where they ran into North, who were still breaking their backs to get in the 8 before they were shut down by Port winning.
But to be fair to Hawthorn, you did have a few players missing, like obviously Sean Makers is gone for the year. Bailey was a late withdrawal and Cyril didn't play either.
No, Cyril played.
You sure?
For at least 10 minutes there. Look, Fyfie, I would love to play your boys in the finals. I really would. I think you'd see a bit of a change in, how things go then.
Serious question, though, for the Cat Wrangler. What was the win like at the game? Did it change direction twice? Or?
I thought it might have changed direction a little bit, yeah. The Hawks only really had the win for the second quarter.
The win did change. Richmond only had the win for one quarter. They blew all KFC boys' rubbish onto the ground at one point. He's empty in buckets.
The wind was swirling and, look, the Tigers were very good. I'm happy for them. They've won their grand final, the Eastern Suburbs KFC Cup, so they've got some bragging rights for the summer. And they can enjoy making up the numbers in the 8 now.
And the whole Essendon fuck-up this week. Well, how good was it to see him get absolutely pantsed?
Yeah, it was an enjoyable afternoon, wasn't it?
It was a real Black Ops exercise from Collingwood.
I didn't see it, guys. Was there lots of booing?
Yes, for both Jab and for Goddard. I don't know what Goddard did. Apparently he got into a little scuffle with Harry O'Brien and came off second best. They booed him every time he got the ball. But yeah, they were loud. They were as expected.
Nice.
So that scoreline just made my afternoon. Along with the Port game, it's just the perfect afternoon of football for me. See those drug cheats get done. Even if it's by a bunch of tattooed bogans, I don't care.
I think it's even better when it's by a bunch of tattooed bogans. But yeah, they got stuck into him, and what a great week. The weapon interview comes out and slams Hurd and makes him look like a fool, and the report gets delivered. Rumours Hurd getting sacked now, and Bomber Thompson's admitted to infighting at Essendon last week.
If it wasn't good enough that Jab Watson came out and admitted he'd been injected with drugs, they keep shooting themselves in the foot. It's fantastic. It's like just step out into public, pulling their pants down and exposing their shame. Each time someone goes out and tells all, it's just more bay fodder.
Yeah, it's certainly not going away. And the Essendon supporters just can't let this one go. They're drinking all the Kool-Aid, and there's going to be tears at the end.
What does everyone think of the interview? Did anyone have anything to say about that?
Say that again?
The interview, are our opinions all Black Ops, or are we allowed to share our thoughts on the Robinson?
Nah, you can't say that sort of shit on the Bay anymore. It's all serious business. You're going to get sued. If Strategy's taught us anything, check your words carefully.
No, we can share our thoughts. I think the worst part of the interview was Spike My Veins' reaction afterwards. He couldn't say a word about it. It was just denial, Iraqi information minister. Ridiculous.
And he's changed his tune on his vitamin C injections as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else on Essendon?
God, I had something really good that I wanted to say about it all, and I've fucking forgotten. I was just hoping if we talked about it, I'd remember.
You were looking at 9.5 weeks on your PC, weren't you? You
fired I was. I got Chad Wingard's head superimposed on bloody...
Is it Mickey Rourke?
I was thinking of the chick. She was really hot too. It's her name. Doesn't matter. Fuck it.
Too young for that reference. Friday night, North Melbourne, Geelong.
It was a massive weekend for the also-rans, I have to say. What with the Tigers also getting up?
Geelong just kind of...
They Norfed themselves.
Yeah, it was typical Scott brother game. They both sooked over the same decision at one point. One gets a free kick, one doesn't, and they're both sooking. Can't remember why.
I just reckon Geelong expected North to choke, so they just thought, we don't have to worry about this. They will trip themselves up. So it was kind of like another reverse choke.
I heard that they tanked on purpose because Suze told Chris to lose so that Brad's North could make the finals.
It was just a real letdown. I was looking forward to another North choke, and I think they let the whole bay down.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially when they got a pretty ordinary run with the umpires and they still didn't lose. It would have been an epic press conference from Brad. But yeah, before we move on from that game, does anyone else see who Brad's looking at hiring as an assistant next year?
Who?
Mark Neild. Brad's been singing his praise and looks like giving him a job. What the fuck? Are they that short on money at North Melbourne? They will go after Mark Neild. Like, sure, he was a highly rated assistant, but
With that much face pulling in one box, surely the glass will shatter. There'll be more grimacing and
Then Judd matched up on Hanbury.
Telstra's share price will go through the roof with the amount of phones they go through. They need a Skype coach, bring in Dean Laidley, bring in the big guns, get him to return to the club he loves.
GWS Melbourne. This was the one result that made me second most happy this week. I loved the Port way they won, but this result made me genuinely happy. Probably not you though, Cat Wrangler.
No. Absolute shocking weekend for me. Like, completely bummed out by Sheedy. That just ruined everything. Like, the Hawks losing I can live with, but Sheedy winning, that was a backbreaker. Ruined the whole weekend.
Yeah, I don't really want to troll Melbourne, to be honest. It just doesn't feel right. It's just too easy. But how about Tom Scully? 29 disposals. Best on ground, you reckon, fellas?
He's actually been hitting his straps the past few weeks.
He's getting paid a lot of money, so I guess the criticism comes. But he hasn't been as bad as suggested. He still racks up handy numbers. He's just not hugely damaging. But he was very good from what I saw. Ward also.
Oh,
Yeah, Ward was great. Yeah.
4
And
goals.
Scully's just like a sort of overpaid version of Basher Hooley on 3 times the money.
Bash is very good disposal and decision maker. That's not Scully's thing. Scully's got elite endurance and will run all day as a midfielder. He's got more in common with Swan, but with obviously a bit lesser build and smarts.
Tattoos.
Yeah, and less tattoos too.
I think Hooley's just glad he'd be counting his lucky stars that he got out of the drug-infested culture at S injection.
Yeah, Hurd tried very hard to get him to stay too.
Yeah, a bit like Monfries. He got out. Good on him.
The Tigers actually do have a bit of a connection there with the drug taking. I've got to say, it's been a bit of improvement since they got a few of the Essendon boys in. I think there's some asterisks against the Finns on the weekend, just quietly.
You want an asterisk for anything? Oh, it's cola. Oh, it's 3/4 breeze. Oh, fucking Essendon.
I actually have heard a bit of a rumour that Dusty Martin might be going to GWS.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried about that.
I would be.
Song's got too many words for him.
Maybe the tattoo's symbolic of all the cash he's going to grab.
I did think of that too.
Well, maybe he's just trying to get himself into Western Sydney culture for his tattoos.
West Coast, Gold Coast.
Pretty much a non-event for anyone else outside of either team's supporters. My only gripe was that there was a goal review on the back of Gary Ablett insistence, not because of the umpire requesting of it, just because he forced the ground umpire to request it, which was a little bit frustrating. I don't want the game to go to players requesting goal reviews because we'll get 10 a game.
That is a Geelong thing, mate. They have been umpiring football games for everyone for the last decade. It's so bloody annoying.
Are we talking about players or supporters?
CJ. Nah, well, I think the best umpires in Western Australia are the fans, without a doubt. But, like, the Geelong players, they are constantly harassing the umpires. They need to look at it, seriously. Stevie J's the worst offender, too.
Bartel's pretty bad about it as well.
I had one gripe with that West Coast, Gold Coast game that I saw. Campbell Brown getting done for a legitimate bump. Had a free kick paid against him for high contact. He hit the bloke in the shoulder. He looked like he was going to punch the umpire. He shaped to punch him. He showed him his fist.
It wasn't a free kick. Like, I think the free kick was more because they thought it was too far away, but it was only about 3 metres. And then he held a clenched fist at the umpire and he paid a 50 against him.
Oh, that was funny. I was like, imagine if Campbell Brown clocked the umpire. He'd become Plugger's hero overnight.
What a tool bag.
Yeah,
He's pulled Brian
was,
Taylor, has he?
that's what I was going to
He's
say.
done
It was reminiscent of BT's fist shaking.
Wow.
Fremantle beat Carlton and played some pretty attractive football to do it. But Fremantle, they're considered a very tough club and, not very sooky. But Crowley and Ballantyne apparently needed some security guards to help them out, to keep them away from the angry Carlton fans.
Apparently, they requested to get some of those sneeze guards put in because they're getting so many souvlaki's thrown at them.
No free hands?
Don't baseball games have themed rounds or themed games where you can take something to the game, like bat game or ball game kind of thing, and everyone brings their own bat? Imagine a ham game for Carlton. They'd be launching over the fence.
Reminds me of basketball. What an awful thing to happen on Dozen Egg Night.
Exactly.
Fremantle playing entertaining footy was probably the biggest shock of the round, but there are 5 things that would be more surprising than Freo playing entertaining footy on the weekend. Number 5, Brad Scott taking responsibility for a loss. Number 4, Essendon fans actually blaming Hurd for the whole Sada thing.
3, Australian cricket selectors not picking a New South Welshman in the team.
Number 2.
Almost 2003 not going after every female on the internet.
And number 1, Marto.
An entertaining West Horsham shit fight.
Very good.
It's not fair. Bring back D1. He was brilliant.
And we have a new segment because obviously it was a very disappointing loss loss out at Carlton. So yeah, we have a new segment. What's on Mixed Menu this week?
Yeah, I hear Mark Murphy, after his disappointing performance on the weekend, is going to be serving up some pink sticky buns for all and sundry.
There'll probably be a side of chips as well, I'd reckon, with that for all the seagulls down there.
Yeah, I think Kate Simpson's bringing them down.
Yeah, not quite a barbecue. They've already done that, which reminds me of what happened down at Melbourne before the North Melbourne game. We've heard that they had a preemptive barbecue for their fans, preempting the North Melbourne thrashing. So Melbourne just doing everything wrong. You know, you're meant to have the barbecue after the game to cheer them up. You don't have it beforehand. Carlton losing to Fremantle, playing attractive football. Eddie Betts was shocking. Wants 600k. Paddlepop, we'll ask you because you're the obvious one. Would Crazy Vossi pay 600k to Eddie Betts?
I don't even think he's that crazy.
What about Marto? Because there might be a coach in Adelaide who will.
600k, that's ridiculous. I'm going to have to edit his Wikipedia page again. That downhill skiing photo needs to go back up there.
But this is Port Adelaide. I mean, you took Angus Monfries. Like, if you'll take him, you'll take Eddie Betts.
I was referring to the Crows. All the Port supporters reckon Sando loves Betts.
Nah, he doesn't have two white parents. Can't be done.
Seriously, though, he's Carlton's leading goal scorer again this year, is he?
Yeah, which is clearly why they're not in the A.
That's the kind of money you'd throw at your leading goal scorer, isn't it? So.
Oh, yeah, well, we should automatically make Gian Siracusa the highest paid player at the Dogs on that logic. Like, you don't do it that way.
It's as embarrassing as having Lindsay Thomas as your leading goal kicker.
I wish I could make fun of him, but he's having a good year. Hey? You get $100,000 per dive, maybe. I don't know.
He still flops around like a fish.
Not even Lindsay Thomas, who's probably the best, or even Wingard, best small forwards going around the comp this year are worth 600k. Eddie needs to pull his head in.
Seriously, he wouldn't get a game at Hawthorn or Richmond, would he?
He'd probably get one at Richmond as a small forward type, but we would not be paying him much.
I don't see what Mick's problem would be. It's not like they care about the salary cap anyway. Just give him a few brown paper bags and he'll be satisfied.
Brisbane, St Kilda.
Yep, the Brisbane Lions causing the moral upset of the year. We lost the free kick counts 19-7, which makes us the moral winners against a team that was coming morally first. So we'll take that, and we'll take the real 4 points as well.
Yeah, but you've got to consult the neutrals on the main board. But yeah, not much else from that. John O'Brown's injured, might not play again, which means, you know, you're basically Carlton now. Without John O'Brown, you're just a different version of Carlton once John O'Brown's gone. They've got Jared Waite, you've got Daniel Merritt.
I had a feeling that Jonathan Brown is going to retire at the start of the season. He hasn't been anywhere near as good as he used to be.
It's not a handy year, though.
Yeah.
Think about what else you have before you say it's time for him to go.
Do you reckon Crazy Vossi thinks he can do a trade with Greater Western Sydney for their first rounder?
He'd have to be looking at it. I don't know what he could offer that would go.
He's probably offered a hand job and a side of chips or something, I don't know.
The difference is it's not Vossi with the number one pick, so the trade's less likely to go through. If Vossi was the number one pick, he'd say, oh yes, I'll give you the number one pick for Tantra Halpin, but it's the other way around. So Vossi might give them half the team.
Who knows? He'll do something crazy.
Sydney Bulldogs.
Did anyone actually watch this whole game? It sounds as boring as shit.
I didn't watch it because I assumed Paul Roos would be commentating. The bizarre thing was that Sydney played in Melbourne at Docklands, Essendon played down the MCG on the same day, and Roos ended up at the G. That was surprising, but no, I didn't watch any of it.
Something might be filtering through.
We can only hope. But he tried on the couch tonight. He tried to talk about him on the couch and that they would beat Geelong at Skilled Stadium.
He loves himself, which reminds me of something else we're going to update everyone on this week, and that is the Fig Jam Award, the Bay 13 Fig Jam. For those of you who don't know, that's the Nathan Buckley Fig Jam Self-Love Award for a player most likely to pull himself off to his own picture. The votes for the season so far: Lance Franklin on 16 votes for persistent self-love throughout the season when doing sweet FA, and Ruse, the man you just talked about, because he only talks about himself and the Swans and he's on TV all the time, 22 votes. Hurley for doing his hair every time he's taking a set shot at goal, he's on 23 points. Next up we've got Dan Hanbury, one of Ruse's favourites, for carrying on about being injured every time he goes near the ball.
Got to stop you there. Duckula's been very, very quick on this in past weeks. It's Hannah's.
Yeah, I'm very particular about it. Can we get that right, please?
Yeah, fair enough, Richard. You got me.
Say Hannah's.
Say Hannah's. Say it.
Say it, Frenchie.
Say that again. Hannah's. Leading him is Harry O on 27 points for persistently getting in the paper for non-football reasons. But out in front at the moment, and look, it's still anyone's game, it's close. James Hurd for getting tanning jabs and constantly lying his ass off is on 30 points.
Is Hurd going to be disqualified from winning this award because of his injection record?
He's definitely out in front.
I think we need a big fat asterisk next to his name.
Just like with everything else he does. This week on the Bay, thread of the week. Look, my personal favourite was air crash investigations. Crash of flight AOD 9604.
Hang on. Fyfie, stop lying.
Karen.
Seriously, Fyfie. We've been talking here for an hour, and all you've gone on about is how you've had thread of the week. He's gone Jamestown, best material by a mile.
Has not stopped. He's up to the 800% pump up now, and now he's back in his own threads.
That's
He was
ridiculous.
at- yeah.
He stickied his own thread.
I think we're all a bit shocked to hear Fyfie because he's just been once again like talking up his own thread as thread of the year, Jamestown. So come on, Fyfie, like don't be so humble. Let that Richmond Tiger roar like it was off air. Tell us how much you love your thread. You know, it's thread of the week. Come on, guys. We all admit it's true actually in this one case.
It's got my back for thread of the week too.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking sensational, isn't it? It's the thread equivalent of a 10-goal win.
There we go.
How about that post of the week? I've got to say, power for good. What kind of flog leaves a game early so they can write 9 verses on the bay? Seriously. Power for good, though. You absolutely turned it around, mate. That was a gem. That was post of the week.
And while on the subject, can we point out that Paddlepop is the only person on the face of the earth to never hear American Pie?
I have to say, he's the luckiest bloke in the world.
Hey, I do. I envy him. Let's be honest.
Come on. Where are your paddles?
Yeah.
Long, long time ago, I can still remember how Shane Charters used to make me smile. And I knew if I had my chance that I could make my players dance. And maybe they'd be stronger for a while.
Can someone unplug his
Come on.
mic, please? I don't know.
But 2013 made me shiver with every paper that was delivered. Barrett on my doorstep. I couldn't take one more step.
I can't remember if I cried when I read about how they proved I lied, but something touched me deep inside the day my fiction died.
So bye.
Bye.
My Essendon lie. Took my bombers to the top and built up our pride. Come on.
Oh, boys injecting another peptide.
Singing, no one ever know that we lied. No one ever know that we lied.
That was terrible.
Flog of the week.
Strategy?
Power for good for leaving the game early.
Got to be strategy for his triumphant return, threatening more legal action, I think it was. He made quite a fool of himself.
Yes.
If strategy is a troll, it's a bloody good one and a bloody convincing one. I'm impressed. But if you're being serious, fuck, you're an idiot.
Yeah, he's not a troll. I've done some research. It's the real deal.
And the poll from last week, who has the best grimace? 20% said Chris Judd, 3% said Dan Hanbury, 31% said McDonald's, and 46% said Jack Watts doesn't play hard enough to grimace.
Just goes to show that the Swans are irrelevant because Hannah's has definitely been grimacing more than anyone this year.
Kudos on remembering his name, by the way.
All right, moving to next week. Look, there aren't too many games of note. Probably the biggest one is Sydney versus Collingwood at ANZ.
Excuse me, if you get it right, it's the Swannies.
The Swannies. Biggest game is probably the Swannies versus Collingwood out at ANZ Stadium. The Collingwood have a pretty good record at ANZ. They did lose the prelim there last year, but otherwise their record there and against the Swans in recent times is good. They're playing good football.
That said,
Swannies over Collingwood, everyone else.
But considering that the Swans have won the last 2 games against Collingwood, I think they'll be too good for the AFL's love child again. Yep, the Swans.
Yeah,
Come on,
Colders.
Pies. Come on, Pies. Swans will win. Swannies.
St Kilda versus Hawthorn.
Look, this will be a close one.
Oh, get your hand off it.
Saints, haven't shown a lot.
Jeez, as Dan said, you are not good at this.
Rewalt, he's very good, and I think in a close one, Hawks might just sneak over the line. Obviously, we haven't been in winning form lately.
I don't know how this game's on a Friday night. It's really a nothing game.
It's ridiculous. How does St. Fiddler get a Friday night game and Port don't? It really makes me mad.
St Kilda games have to be on a Friday. It's an after-school special.
No, but Marto, I reckon Port definitely will get a Friday night game next year.
Port will get Friday night games. It's always the year behind, but they're about 3 years behind with giving St Kilda decent games, aren't they? I got to admit, they've given North Melbourne quite a few Friday night games this year, and hasn't it delivered?
Well, they invented the Friday night.
I would argue that it didn't deliver. They were supposed to lose on Friday night, and they screwed it all up. I'm really disappointed in Norf.
We still saw their West Coast choke on a Friday, though.
Indeed.
Yeah, and there were some amazing meltdowns as well in the presser afterwards.
Maybe I should have just rephrased my comment to games that they're on free-to-air. Their free-to-air games have been good against the Crows, against the Gold Coast, against West Coast.
And the funny thing is that they're catering to the North Melbourne audience by giving them free-to-air games as well.
And everyone else, because we get to see them choke. They choke on the big stage when they think there's more than 200 people watching them. But yeah, Hawthorn will win, easy. And yeah, no more Friday night games for St Kilda. Richmond versus Brisbane.
I got a Big 13 challenge for you. Sig and never Terrace. But if the margin is less than 10 goals 1 week, and if it's 10 goals or more 2 weeks.
Oh, I'm looking forward to 2 weeks here because this will be the 10-goal win.
Oh, Richmond's grand final. I wonder how they'll back up playing 2 grand finals in a row.
Stop pretending that anyone else cares. That's why you need the Gold Coast Suns, because they actually want to beat you. No one else gets worked up over beating Brisbane.
I personally think that the Tigers might be a little tired, so there is a little sneaky chance that Brisbane could get within 10 goals of Richmond. Look, I think as long as the Magic jumpers are on, I think, it could be a close game. But Richmond are going to win this one quite comfortably. They're playing some pretty hot football.
Geelong, Port Adelaide.
Down to Sleepy Hollow this week. Everyone says we've got no chance. We've got a little bit of a chance, let's be honest. We play there every year. It's ridiculous. I'm sick of our team having to travel to Sleepy Hollow every year. It's shit old stadium. It should be destroyed. No more of this.
Why don't just knock over the town while they're at it?
I actually completely agree with you there, Marto. It's a shit truck of a town, and they probably should knock it all down. And I'd love to see Port get up. And they can do it. They're good enough.
They're the second last team to win there.
The Cats are a bunch of fig jams, which is why they keep losing these easier games. And no offence to Port, but the Cats should get over the top of them. But you know what? They're such a bunch of fig jams. Chances are Port will win it. Go Port.
If Norf can beat them, Port can beat them.
Introduced to the new segment. Guess which Geelong player is going to be suspended this weekend?
Is J-Pod playing, or is he still suspended?
He's back this week. He was only out for a week.
Yeah, I reckon he gets suspended again.
I'm going to go with Josh Hunt, who's accidentally going to clip someone high while squibbing a contest.
Good choice.
I'm just going to guess Jimmy Bartell. Why not?
Andrew Mackie, because he's a poof.
Look, I'm throwing it out here. The most annoying player in the league, besides Ballantyne, has to be Angus Monfries. Angus Monfries, whoever plays on him, so it's got to be some half back. So I'm going with Corey Enright. Never loses his cool, but Angus can get under anyone's skin.
I don't see what the big deal is with Angus Monfries. I mean, he should be one of the most popular players in the league. I don't understand why he gets you so mad, but I love it.
8 years at Essendon will do that to him.
Yeah, but you got to realize he escaped. He just wanted to get away. You got to give the guy some credit. He has some morals.
Dude, he's a diving piece of shit. His nickname is Anus Monfries for a reason. He will never get by that down here in Melbourne. You didn't have to put up with him. He may have changed to be a lot better. I'll give you that. He's definitely improved, but he's just hated down here.
The poor bloke, he was probably mentored by Sniper Lloyd. What hope did he have? We had to have to de-Essendon him somehow.
That could be a bridge too far for you. I don't think anyone can do that.
But yeah, Geelong for me. Close game though.
Yeah, Geelong.
Yeah, Port.
Gee, wrong. They'll win.
No one honestly wants to see Geelong win though, do they?
Nah, but we think they will.
I want to see Geelong win only because they're playing Port.
Someone's still sulking over 9 years ago. Oh, 3 flags wasn't enough.
The only time I go for Port's when they're playing Collingwood.
Your club just doesn't have enough history, mate. Just throwing that out there.
It really should have been 2 flags each. You just got greedy, and we choked it a little bit.
Carlton versus the Bulldogs.
I just don't think the barbecues are big enough down at Carlton for them to lose this weekend. Personally, I would love the Dogs to win. I like the Dogs. They're all right by me. And I hate Carlton. But, yeah.
Everyone hates Carlton, let's be honest.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, go the Bulldogs. I don't think they'll win, but look, they gave Sydney a good shake last week. You never know what might happen. But I just want to see the Bulldogs win. Doesn't anyone want to see Mick Malthouse shoot through the roof? He was bad enough last week. Imagine if he loses to the Bulldogs this week.
Yeah, Carlton will win, but Bulldogs, if they get up, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, Carlton for me.
Yeah, I'm tipping Carlton.
Gold Coast versus Melbourne. In a further embarrassment for Melbourne this year, could they become the first team to lose twice in a season in an expansion club?
Yes.
Yep, for me.
This could be Gold Coast's first 100-point win. Just putting it out there, it could happen.
That'd be awesome.
There's actually 60 points at the G, so Marto's onto something.
Yeah, they're pretty good at Metricon these days. And Melbourne are pitiful.
They are terrible.
They need a priority pick, but they do not deserve one.
They don't. They can't get that. That's rubbish.
They shouldn't get one, but I think they'll get one.
Essendon West Coast.
Boo!
Oh, it's not in Perth. That's a shame.
No, they both boo.
Who's the one who sounds like a cow? Marto?
Not a freaking cow.
Anyway, yeah, Essendon should win, but it would be lovely because they are still a mathematical chance to finish 9th. It would be lovely to see them booted from finals and lose their points. Not that the points would matter, but just to see them miss out anyway. And that can happen if they lose every game.
Adelaide against North, the rematch of that epic choke. That should be interesting. It'll be on free-to-wear as well.
This is the who cares wins match of the round. It's irrelevant. Neither team's going to play finals. I just want
No. 9th is a definite possibility for finals. People are fighting it out for 9th this year.
But yeah, the Who Gives a Fuck Cup. Yeah, Crows, but who gives a fuck?
It's in Radelaide, so I just think North have something to play for, but Radelaide tend to get up their home fans, so maybe the Crows just in a big
It actually
choke.
was kind of ironic if Adelaide were like 5 goals up with 10 minutes to go and choked North.
Yeah, Slop Sanderson will get them to fall over the line somehow, but I'm bored just thinking about it. I want to fall asleep.
Oh, well, if you want to fall asleep with that, you should see the last game of the round in Perth, Fremantle GWS.
Oh,
Yeah, let's skip that. No one cares.
God, no.
Jesus.
Fremantle will win this by 15 goals, but they won't crack 100 points, I reckon.
Yeah.
Are Freo even capable of kicking 15 goals?
I think Pavlich is back this week, actually. So I might give him another 2.
Yeah, nothing much of interest in that game.
That'll be a yawn fest.
Oh, yeah, fucking Ross Lyon. To say any more about that game would be saying too much. So this was the vlogcast for round 20. Fyfie joined by Duckula,
Boo!
the Cat Wrangler,
Keep wrangling.
Paddlepop,
Say what again?
and joining us from West Horsham, Marto.
Yep, see you next time, folks.
Once again, if you've made it this far, well done, and thanks for listening.